heart rate check, voice check. Where's that paper bag from that classic comeback win before the COVID lockdown against Calgary back in Nashville when Granlund got not only the tying goal with 2/10 of a second left and then got the overtime winner? I don't know if I can make it through an entire fan reaction video tonight after what that game did to me. Hey, Preds Nation, Johnny here. As you can tell, I'm still a little giddy. I can't believe that 80 games of the season leading to this point has led me to this. But, okay, let's just get this out of the way. Preds tied the Calgary Flames 2-2 after regulation and a shootout. And then everybody's hands go up! Way friggin' up! As the Nashville Predators defeat the Calgary Flames 2-1 in 4 rounds of a shootout and thus win the game, keeping their season alive 3-2 over the Calgary Flames. Monday night, I'm losing track of my days here, Monday night in Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary, Alberta. Just when it looked like the Preds season was finally going to end after giving up the tying goal in the third period and then being undermanned in overtime with so many people on this roster, the kids pulled it out once again with the help of their goalie, UC Saros, of course, and came back in the last round of a shootout that if they hadn't scored, their season would have been over. And then sudden death walk-off in the 4th round of the shootout. They extended their season and ended the Flames. This is going to be a reduced Preds fan reaction. I'm going to focus on the strong points, but it's not going to be a fully extensive one as much as I'd like it to because obviously it was a late game. It's now 9:54 on the West Coast. I don't want to wait until tomorrow to get this out, but I also have to get to bed tonight at a decent time just for my health in case the Preds need me Thursday, because we all know who we have to root for tomorrow night when the Preds have the day off. Preds start this game off on the right foot about 6 minutes into the first period. You've got Mark Janikowski going behind the net, and Jacob Markstrom, for some reason, goes wandering behind her in the trapezoid, and Janikowski is able to get the puck out front to Igor Afanasyev. He's alive! He's alive! With his first NHL goal, Markstrom is not able to scramble back in time, and the Preds, right off the bat in the first period, want and get what they need, a 1-0 lead. Can we get this out of the way now? Because it was a rather good game other than this aspect for both sides that I know must have agonized and aggravated both fan bases. The Calgary Flames have to figure out why they lost so much time in overtime and shootouts this season. And even if the Preds make the playoffs, even if they don't go very far, or if they miss the playoffs, they have to figure out their special teams because Dan Lambert is not working anymore. Flames went 0-4 on a power play and Preds went 0-6. It was so aggravating. But despite early special teams problems for both teams, the Preds were off to the right foot in the first period by its conclusion, leading 1-0 after 20 minutes, outshooting the Flames 14-11. Oh yeah, and then there was that second period. Oh yeah, that was fun, watching the Preds get outshot 14-8 for the period, hanging on for dear life at some points. And then, what was it? Just under 8 minutes into the second period, Mangiapane into the Preds zone, drops it to Troy Stecher through a screen. Saros has no chance, off the crossbar, and in. The Flames have tied this game at 1. I think the second period was where the special teams was most frustrating enough. Flames were not able to score on 2-man advantages, and the Preds had 3 chances with the extra man. Well, if you thought the second period was frustrating enough with that shot difference, get a load of the third period. How many of you have gone back to the box score and seen, I didn't even realize it was this bad. 16-4 for the Flames in a period that they would only wind up getting 1 goal past Saros. Next to the guys coming in the clutch in the eventual shootout, Saros, oh, he deserves a nice back rub by somebody tonight for his stellar performance. And with just 4 minutes into the third period, once this sequence had finished up, I thought it was going to be enough. Cody Glass drives to the net. The puck inadvertently goes off of the referee's skate, comes back to Zach Sanford, who is able to beat an unprepared Jacob Markstrom, giving the Preds what you thought might be enough on the road, a 2-1 lead. Now, they explained the difference on the Sportsnet broadcast up here in Canada. I don't know if Willie and Sime said it on the Bally Sports feed. If that puck had gone directly in the net off of the official, it would have been no goal. But sometimes you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. And the Preds were Johnny on the spot with that tap-in goal off of the lucky bounce to give them what you thought would be enough. And by the way, congratulations to Jake Livingstone on his first NHL point. He got the secondary assist that got the puck to Cody Glass, who eventually set up Zach Sanford. And that goal should have been enough, but with about 8 minutes into the third period, terrible clear by Tyson Barrie in his own zone up the side board, and it's kept in by Jonathan Huberdeau, who plays tic-tac-toe. He gets it to Mangiapane, who gets it to Mikhail Backlund, who beats Saros on a one-timer, ties this game at 2. And here I am thinking that the Preds season is going to be finished off by this Flames team on the road away from their fans back at Bridgestone. After that tying goal, the Preds, with their 6th and final power play chance to possibly put this game away if they could just convert. Breathe, Johnny, breathe. There's still lots of game in that moment to go. Preds couldn't convert. Their power play dwindles a little bit more. Preds play on. Flames come close, very dangerously, as it's down to 4 minutes and 3 minutes in regulation. Certainly at this point, every Preds fan knows and every Flames fan knows that the next goal wins, because one thing I forgot to mention was coming into this game, Preds and Flames fans knew that the Jets had won. So the team that got 2 points in this one out of the Flames and the Preds, their season would be extended. And the one who didn't get 2 points, their season would be done. The Flames only have 1 game. Fortunately, the Preds still have 2 more, and we'll get to that. Regulation finally ticks down. These two teams are tied at 2 after 3. In overtime, in a period that ended up being 3 shots apiece between the Preds and the Flames, I'm going to concentrate on the 2 moments that the Flames should have had this game. I'm a Preds fan, and I can say that Flames fans must be so aggravated that their season ended in a shootout after coming so close in overtime. Under 3 minutes left. First, it was Rasmus Andersson, who somehow was able to get by Philip Tomasino and Cody Glass, who were on the ice together. He had Saros down. Saros was at his mercy. He had the puck. He's able to get it by him. But guess who comes back and totally redeems himself after allowing the tying goal to be scored in the third period? Yes, when Tyson Barrie gets his stick on it, is able to keep it from going over the line and clear it. And that is soon followed up by Tyler Toffoli, who is set up on a one-timer, and instead of actually taking a moment to try and skate in because he had all day to try and beat Saros, he just lets a one-timer go, and Saros gets both pads on, and this game continues. And what seems like forever finally ends. One of these teams' season is going to end in a gimmick known as the shootout. In the shootout, first up is Jonathan Huberdeau, who goes in and pulls off the Ryan Johansson slow-mo to a T and gets Saros to back into his net, and he beats him at the last moment. A shot that you hate when it's scored against you, but you love when your guy can do it. And that's followed up by Philip Tomasino, who goes into the round, tries to go backhand to beat Jacob Markstrom, loses control of it, still gets it off the goalpost, but the Flames are up 1-0 after the first round. Then you've got Nazem Kadri, who can't beat Saros. And then Luke Evangelista is up next. He's got a good setup, but Markstrom is able to extend his pad and make the save. Then Ritchie. I don't know about some of these Flames choices on the shootout. I was reading Flames social media afterwards, and they were wishing that Mackenzie Weegar or Tyler Toffoli had been chosen. But hey, I can't complain as a Preds fan. Ritchie is able to get stopped by Saros. So once again, it comes down to this. The Preds have to score here to extend their season. And it's going to have to be one of the kids. The grown men making the $1 million paychecks on this roster are all on the IR. They're all watching together. I'm sure Maybe some of them are on this road trip. Most of them are probably watching back home in Smashville. Who is going to be the one counted upon to extend the season? It's going to be Cody Glass. Nothing fancy this time. Cody Glass, whip speed, in on Markstrom, snaps it, glove side, past him, and the Preds season continues, if not just for this moment, after 3 rounds. This shootout is tied at 1. And after Backlund, who tied this game in the 4th round of the shootout, is unable to score, John Hines calls on another kid, not so young. He's been around in the Preds system. This time he wants to stay put. It's Tommy Novak's turn as he skates in. He does almost the exact same thing with speed on Markstrom, and he whips it, snaps it up and over Markstrom. The Preds win the shootout 2-1. They extend their season at least one more day. We'll see what happens tomorrow between Minnesota and Winnipeg, and they end the Calgary Flames season. So for the summary, let's just cut to the chase here. This is where this game leaves us at. The Preds have played 80 games and have 90 points. The Winnipeg Jets have 80 games played and 93 points. The Preds don't play again until Thursday night at home to Minnesota, and then the Friday makeup game against Colorado. So, right? They're 3 points back of Winnipeg, which means Tuesday night, the Preds are off, but we're not really off. We've got TV watching to do. Winnipeg Jets go to Minnesota tomorrow night. Minnesota is still competing ultimately for the Central Division. And you know what? Preds Nation, we're going to be good old Preds fans, and for tomorrow night, we're going to root for Winnipeg to win that game in regulation, because even 1 point puts the Preds out of the playoffs, because the Preds cannot tie the Winnipeg Jets and get in on a tiebreaker. They have to beat the Winnipeg Jets by a point. Plain and simple. So tomorrow night, there's nothing else left to be said from this game. I hope your hearts are doing okay. Tomorrow night, we all got to be the biggest Minnesota Wild fans ever, even bigger than the Minnesota Wild Nation themselves. Hey, I'm used to this. The Preds' first trip to the playoffs back in 2004, I had to be a bigger Canucks fan than the Canucks fans I was watching a game with 19 years ago. So get ready for tomorrow night. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Predemption. And all aboard, who's ready to be the biggest Minnesota Wild fan Tuesday night to extend the Preds season to at least Thursday night back home at Bridgestone?